We all love how helpful ChatGPT can be, but let's be honest, after weeks of intense prompt engineering, creative writing, or just random brainstorming, that chat sidebar can become an absolute jungle. A cluttered workspace can be a massive drain on your focus, making it impossible to find your important work. And let's not forget the privacy side of things. Sometimes you just want to know that your sensitive conversations are properly managed, or that those odd AI-generated images aren't lurking around. That's why I've put together this essential compilation. In this one video, we are going deep into your account control panel to clean things up and lock things down. We're going to cover everything from the ultimate cleanup, deleting all chats at once, to mastering the Incognito Mode for those off-the-record brainstorming sessions. You'll also learn how to dig those important, archived chats back up, purge old image generations, and finally, switch on that eye-saving dark mode. This is your definitive guide to reclaiming your digital headspace. By the end, you will have a pristine, private, and powerful workspace ready for your next big idea. Let's clean it up. Staring at a bright white screen in a dark room is the fastest way to give yourself a massive headache. You're trying to get some work done with your AI assistant, but that blinding white interface feels like a spotlight hitting you right in the eyes. You want to know how to enable dark mode on ChatGPT so you can finally stop squinting at your monitor. It seems like a simple fix, but if you don't know exactly where the developers tuck that setting away, you'll spend way too much time hunting through menus. Stick with me for a second, and you'll have a much sleeker, eye-friendly setup in less than a minute. Go ahead and pull up your main ChatGPT dashboard. Do you see your profile icon sitting up there? Give that a click. A little menu is going to drop down, and you want to look for the option that says Settings. Once you click that, a window pops up, and you'll usually land right on the General tab. This is where the magic happens. Right at the top of that list, there is a section labeled Appearance. Now, if you haven't touched this before, it probably says Light or System. If it says System, it means ChatGPT is just copying whatever your computer or browser is already doing. If your laptop is set to a light theme, ChatGPT is going to follow suit and stay bright. To take total control, click that drop-down menu and select Dark. The screen will flip immediately, and those harsh white pixels will disappear into a nice, deep charcoal or black. The reason this even matters is because of how our eyes react to light. Tech companies usually default to light mode because it mimics the look of physical paper, which feels natural during the day. But once the sun goes down, that high-contrast light actually strains your eye muscles. Dark mode helps by reducing the overall luminance, which is why it feels like such a relief when you finally switch it over. You might run into a common hiccup where the setting doesn't seem to stick when you log in on a different device. That usually happens because the system setting is overriding your manual choice. If you want it dark everywhere, make sure you're picking dark specifically, rather than letting it sync with your system. Cleaning up your digital space feels great until you realize you just tucked away a conversation that actually had that one brilliant idea you need right now. You wanted a tidy sidebar, but now you're staring at a blank screen because you can't figure out how to unarchive chats in ChatGPT. It feels like those messages just vanished into a black hole. But they aren't gone forever. You just need to know where the hidden vault is located so you can bring that specific thread back into your active list. Let's get that conversation back where it belongs. Start by looking at your sidebar and finding those two horizontal lines that open up your main menu. Once you've got that open, ignore the list of recent chats for a second and look all the way at the bottom where your account name or profile icon sits. Give that a click to open up your personal settings. You're looking for a section called Data Controls. Inside that menu, you'll see an option labeled View Archived Chats. Click that, and a window will pop up showing every single conversation you thought was gone. Now, to actually pull one out of the shadows, find the chat you want and simply press and hold on it. An option to unarchive will pop up immediately. One quick tap on that button, and that chat is officially back in your main sidebar, ready for you to pick up exactly where you left off. It's a fast process, but it's tucked away behind enough menus that it's easy to miss if you aren't looking for it. Why does OpenAI hide it like this anyway? It's mostly about keeping the interface from becoming a cluttered mess of every single prompt you've ever typed. Archiving is basically a soft delete. It clears the clutter without the commitment of permanently destroying your data. People often hit that archive button by mistake while trying to rename a chat or move too quickly through the mobile app. It's a common slip-up, but now you know the exact path through the data controls to fix it in seconds. You probably think your private AI creations are stuck in your history forever because the interface makes it look that way. When you open up your ChatGPT image generator to clean things up, you'll notice something immediately annoying. There is no delete button on the image itself. You can click around, check the top right corners, and hunt through every menu icon on the preview, but the option to trash that specific picture simply doesn't exist. This is exactly how most people end up with a cluttered gallery full of AI-generated barbecue burgers or awkward selfies they wish they hadn't made. You want to clear your AI images, but the system feels like it's locking you out. The solution is actually hidden in plain sight, but it requires you to change how you look at your workspace. Instead of trying to find a delete button on the image, look over at the left-hand sidebar where all your normal conversations live. Every image you create is tied to a specific chat session. To get rid of that image for good, you need to target the chat that birthed it. Find the specific conversation name in your history, click those three little dots next to the title, and select the delete option. Once you confirm that you want it gone, the entire session, including those images, is wiped from your account. Now, don't panic if the image is still staring at you after you click delete. Sometimes the interface needs a second to realize what just happened. Give the page a quick refresh, and you will see that the screen is finally empty. It's a bit of a workaround because you can't just pick and choose one photo out of a group while keeping the rest of the text, but it is the only way to ensure those files are truly removed from your visible history. Why does OpenAI make this so weirdly difficult? It's because the system treats an image as a piece of dialogue, not a standalone file in a folder. If you delete the words that asked for the image loses its home and disappears. It's a common mistake to think there's a secret gallery setting somewhere in your profile, but there isn't. You've got to be willing to sacrifice the whole chat thread to get the cleaning job done. Now you know exactly how to keep your workspace clean and your digital footprints managed. You aren't stuck with every random experiment or failed prompt anymore. You have total control over what stays and what goes. Your ChatGPT sidebar is a complete disaster zone right now. It is overflowing with half-baked ideas, abandoned projects, and random questions that seemed important 3 weeks ago. You want a fresh start, but the thought of clicking those tiny three dots on every single conversation to delete them one by one makes you want to close the tab and never come back. This tutorial is going to show you exactly how to delete all chats in ChatGPT without losing your mind or wasting your entire afternoon. Start by looking at that crowded left-hand sidebar. It's messy, isn't it? Instead of doing the tedious manual labor, take your cursor to the corner of the screen and click on your profile icon. A menu drops down and you need to select the Settings option. Once that window pops up, stay right there and click on the Data Controls options, because that is where the power lies. Look toward the bottom of that menu for the option that says Delete All Chats. There is a bright red button sitting there waiting for you that says Delete All. Go ahead and click it. You will see a final confirmation button. Click that too. Now, when you close that settings window, you might notice those old conversations are still hanging around for a second. Don't panic, it didn't fail. You just need to refresh your browser page. Once the page reloads, that sidebar will be completely empty and pristine. Why does OpenAI even let it get this cluttered in the first place? Well, the system is designed to save everything by default, so you can pick up a thread whenever you want. But over time, those hundreds of entries actually make it harder to find the stuff that actually matters. It's a digital hoarding trap. You finally have your workspace back. You aren't staring at a graveyard of old prompts anymore. You are in total control of your interface, and you can start your next big project with a totally clean slate. Ever feel like you're being watched while you're trying to brainstorm a sensitive project or a private idea? Maybe you're on a shared account at work or home, and you don't want your entire history cluttered with every random question that pops into your head. You probably know that standard browser history can be cleared, but ChatGPT usually keeps a permanent record of every single interaction right there in the sidebar for anyone to see. Today, you are going to learn how to hide your tracks instantly using ChatGPT Incognito Mode. Start by opening your main ChatGPT dashboard. You want to look at the very top right of your screen. Take a closer look, and you should see a feature called Temporary Chat. Once you flip that switch, the interface shifts into a specialized private state. You will notice the chat window looks different, and the sidebar where your history usually lives becomes blocked off or grayed out. Now you can type anything you want. Go ahead and ask it about a secret business plan or a private medical question. ChatGPT will respond exactly as it normally does. The real power happens when you are finished. Go back to that same drop-down menu at the top left and turn off the temporary chat. The entire conversation vanishes instantly. It won't show up in your history, it won't be used to train future models, and it effectively never existed. Why does OpenAI even keep your history by default? It's mainly so their systems can learn from your style and provide better context over time. The downside is that it creates a digital paper trail that can be awkward if someone else glances at your screen. A common mistake people make is thinking that just deleting a chat after the fact is enough. While that removes it from your view, the data has already been logged. Using this temporary mode prevents the log from being created in your visible history in the first place. It is important to remember that this isn't a total invisibility cloak from the internet itself. Your ISP might still know you are visiting the site, but as far as the ChatGPT interface is concerned, your secrets stay with you. You now have the power to jump in, get your answers, and disappear without leaving a single trace behind. And there you have it, a clean, organized, and truly private workspace. Your chat sidebar is no longer a jungle, and your settings are finally working for you, not against you. I hope this guide helped you declutter your digital desk so you can get back to what actually matters, your creativity. If you found these tips useful, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach more people. And if you have a favorite privacy hack I missed, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you keep your workspace tidy. If you're ready to take things a step further and master the advanced features of ChatGPT, make sure to check out my second compilation, The Power User's Guide. We dive into everything from custom voices and reading your chats aloud to sharing your best conversations with others. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.